Here's a short tip for success from Talent Solutions. Today's topic, scheduling and hosting a Zoom meeting. This is part 2 of our Zoom Basics video series. In our last video, we talked about how to create a Zoom account and set up a good background for your video chat. Going forward, we'll assume you already have a Zoom account as well as the app downloaded to your computer. We'll start by going over the icons that pop up when you first open up the app. You can see 4 little icons: New Meeting, Join, Schedule, and Share Screen. You can also see whether or not you have any upcoming Zoom meetings on your schedule by looking at this column on the right. The icons are pretty self-explanatory, but I'll go over them very quickly. If you want to join an existing meeting, you would click on the Join icon, then type in the meeting's ID number. You can click the button below Join if you want to share your screen during a meeting, though this option is also available when you are in the meeting itself, so don't be surprised if you rarely use this button. The New Meeting button starts a meeting right away. This means that you would start the meeting first, then invite people. Scheduling does just the opposite. You send the invitation first, then start the meeting. We'll start by scheduling a meeting. So as you can see, when I clicked Schedule, this list popped up for me to customize my meeting. I'll start by renaming it and choosing the start date and time. Then I'll decide how long I want the meeting to be, so my attendees know how long to block out their calendar for. I also have the option of making the meeting recurring. This just means that the meeting ID and/or password will be usable for longer than just this one meeting. Additionally, double check that your time zone is correct. For your meeting ID, you have the option of using your personal ID or generating an automatic ID. This is just up to your preference. Generally, I like using a generated meeting ID, so I'm going to keep that box checked. For an extra layer of security, I'm also going to choose to utilize a password. As you can see, when I click the Require Meeting Password box, a password is automatically generated for me. Now for this meeting, I want to see my coworkers' faces, so I'm going to check that video be on. Of course, once in the meeting, people have the option of turning their cameras off, but by selecting On in this window, I'm tacitly telling my employees that I want to see their faces. Under Audio, you can choose if you want to allow people to use their cell phones to call in, or just to utilize the audio in their computers. Dialing in is dependent on the host's audio subscription and settings, so it may not be an option for everyone. Now under Calendar is where you can sync your work calendar with your Zoom account. For example, if I was finished scheduling my meeting and had checked the Outlook box, my Outlook email would pop up with a calendar invite all ready for me to send to the people I want to attend my meeting. Then, when my prospective attendees get the email, they can accept the invite and it will plug the meeting straight onto their calendar. If you don't utilize Google Calendar or Outlook, then just select Other Calendars, which is what I'll do here. Now let's check out some advanced options. We've got a total of 4 options here. Enable Waiting Room means that you will have to manually admit everyone who comes into the meeting. This just means that when you're in the meeting, you'll get a notification that someone is in the waiting room, and you can choose whether or not you want to let them in. Enable Join Before Host. This is a great option if you are creating a meeting for someone else, or if you want to allow your attendees to get in before you. Be careful if you have a free account, however, because the 40-minute timer starts right when the first person enters the meeting. Mute participants on entry. I highly recommend using this setting because it allows people to get settled without making a ton of noise or disrupting a conversation that is already in place, should they be late. The last advanced option is to automatically record the meeting on your computer. If you decide to use this setting, the meeting will be recorded upon start and then saved to your computer when the meeting is over. Just remember to notify your attendees that you will be filming the meeting if you decide to use this setting. Okay, I'm happy with how my meeting looks, so I'm going to click Schedule. I'm going to copy the invite to my clipboard and I'll paste it so you can see what it looks like. When I paste this into an email, my attendees can just click on that link and be into my meeting. Easy peasy. All right, now that we've got our meeting scheduled, let's learn how to open up a scheduled meeting. The meeting I just scheduled is showing right here. Now I do have a couple of options when I click the 3 little dots here beside the title of the meeting, but I'm just going to go ahead and start the meeting. 2 of the most important controls are the mute and video icons. As you can see, I started this meeting with both my video and audio on. By clicking the video icon, I can turn off my video. The same goes for the mute button. As we mentioned in the previous video, the little arrows beside the icons lead you to various settings menus where you can customize or alter your video and audio settings. There's a row of buttons along the bottom as well. The security button opens up a few options for you to add an extra layer of protection to your meeting. The participant button opens up a window where you can see who all is in your meeting. This is also the screen where you can invite a new participant. You just select Copy Invite and paste it into an email, just as we did earlier. Similarly, the chat button opens up a window where you can send messages to all or just some of your attendees. Your attendees will be able to interact with you and each other using the chat box. And you guessed it, the Share Screen button allows you to display your screen for your attendees to view. And here's the Record button we discussed in our previous video and earlier in this video as well. The Reactions button is a feature only available for those who have the Zoom app installed. This is a great way to get silent feedback from your attendees. To end the meeting, just click the End Meeting button on the far right corner. You have 3 options here. End Meeting for All stops the meeting for every participant. Selecting Leave Meeting allows the meeting to continue without you. And, of course, hitting Cancel closes the End Meeting window and takes you right back to the video chat. We hope you enjoyed this short tutorial. If you have any questions about the content of this video or other business solutions, connect with us today at talentsolutions@esd.wa.gov. And remember, the success of your business is our business.